Shubor nakaslem jong Nongsan Hima.
Deputy Commissioner jang ke East Khasi Hills District kakong Isawanda lalu henne kasngi kala palat patba ya ka child friendly Shillong ka kanhon jang ke khna ki banyatre na ka banta ki khna ki be kandu jing e ha ka jing em jong ki habakran ha ka ne kasngi na ka DC kala pan pau bagi dan bun ki kanhon ba pher ki batre shitam banya dai ki khna na ki kam sniu bat ki we kala ongru kadon kam bangin haban pet baki khna kan lat na kinu ki jing sniu bat ki jing ma da ka bangi haban pen biang ya ka jing dan kam jong ki khna ki don kam ban lat ne ki jing e ha ka jing em ka jong ki shu ko kong lalu kula ong ru bangi kren ya ka jing e na mar ki don ki khna ki badu no ya bun ki jing don kam jong ki la ka dai ha ka jing pule puthi ne ha ka jing le kai jong ki
Childhood is the golden period of life which we can enjoy. The part of life which we cannot get back, however much we want. A future is built up on the basis of our childhood. Childhood is the time when the foundation of our life is built on the pillars of right values and principles. As Michael Jackson said, all of us are products of our childhood. The memories of childhood ultimately become the lifelong memory which always brings a smile on our faces. As we grow, we feel more attachment to our childhood and we want to get back those days, but we cannot. That is why many people say, time is neither a friend nor a foe, because the time which is gone cannot come back, and neither do our childhood. The actual value of childhood can only be understood by the grown-ups because children are not capable of realizing the importance that this period brings with it. Moreover, children have no worries, no stress, and they are free from the filth and worldly life. Children may also fail to realize what golden moments they are passing through only until they reach adulthood. Childhood is the time when a child's diet must be apt to develop his health and immunity. The proper habit of eating, reading, sleeping, doing exercise, and to be neat and clean must be taught in this phase of time. It is also the best time for a child to engage in any creative activity like drawing, singing, or sports, for these will be with him when he grows up and work as stress buster. Adults also have a thing or two to learn from children, as they are very helpful in nature to the people surrounding them.
There are so many organizations, both government and private, in our state and in our district in particular, who are working day in and day out without rest to protect our children from abuse, from violence, to help street children, to ensure their safety, to ensure they get food, to ensure they get a proper education, that children who are under some kind of influence or who have fallen prey to various social evils are rehabilitated, are taken care of. This is so very important. But at the same time, a child-friendly city, a child-friendly environment also means a place or a city which ensures the rights of children in all aspects, that they can move about freely, that their health is ensured, that the footpaths they walk in are properly constructed, that in the surroundings of schools and Anganwadi centers, We have no negative influences. Under the COTPA Act, we have seen that the selling of tobacco products is barred within 100 meters from educational institutions. And so this is another aspect of a child-friendly space, places in which children are living in an environment that is safe, that is clean, that is healthy, and that is conducive to their long-term growth and development. A child-friendly city also involves a child-friendly home, a child-friendly school, child-friendly public spaces, and public transport. Perhaps these are things we really think about. But I hope through this effort, we can engage all stakeholders, and I believe that all stakeholders should be all persons and all departments should necessarily be stakeholders for children's rights and children's welfare. It is not only the lookout of the District Child Protection Officer or the NCPCR, but whether it is the district administration or the police or various developmental departments, we have a role to ensure that children are safe, they are protected, and that they are happy. Child-friendly homes, in the wake of the COVID pandemic, it is rarely spoken about, it is rarely seen. We talk about people who have lost livelihoods, who have suffered economic losses, but the losses to children are tremendous. The losses of the capacity to learn, educational opportunities because of what the pandemic has brought about are perhaps things which the effect of them will only be understood several years down the line. To add to that, there are some families in which parents may not have the time or the means to help their children, to help them attend their online class. They may not even have a mobile phone to do so. They may not have the time, the means, the education, or the wherewithal to provide counseling to their children. So we have heard that around the world, this time, the time of pandemic and lockdown, has seen an increase. We learn of domestic abuse, but also of abuse of children in their homes. And so this is something which we really need to think about. When we talk about education, yes, due to circumstances beyond our control, a pandemic which has never been seen before in our generation, in 100 years, we have had to stop schools. And we have seen that in recent days, our government has progressively and in a phased-wise manner allowed for reopening. We really need to think about what our role is to ensure that children remain safe and that they get the opportunity to learn, and that we understand what our fundamental duty is as adults to give them this space. We constantly talk about the protocols we need to follow for COVID-19. All of us are sick of lockdown. All of us are sick of having to stay in our homes and not having to go out. Let us remember that if we have to go back into a third wave, into another lockdown, our children again will be devoid, will not be able to go out and play or meet their friends. Even now, we are restricting, how they can participate in various events, whether it's in school or in church or in programs of various kinds. Children are not yet eligible for vaccination in our country, and hence that also makes them more vulnerable. We are dealing with a virus which we don't know yet the impact which it may have on young children. And hence I feel it is our role as adults. We keep speaking about this, that one of the reasons why we encourage adults to vaccinate is so that through their vaccination they can protect, they can ensure the safety of the children around them who are not yet eligible to take the shot. And this is what we call herd immunity. When a significant section of the population is immunized, it will naturally bring about a protection, an umbrella of protection to all those who do not still yet have that option. This will end up to be one of the most overwhelming and fulfilling, I think, because it is to do with our children who really are our future. But Thomas had spoken in his speech, and Father Wanyam had spoken, in his prayer, really reminded us that we are here for our children. There's a popular adage or a saying that says that we borrow the present from our children, from our future generations. In fact, everything that we do, all the policies we make, all the decisions we take are one day going to impact our young children, and they are going to be, our future. They are going to take the reins in a couple of years, in a couple of decades' time. So everything that we do really is for them, and this is such a timely occasion. I think the launching of this project, which we have heard about, is something which I am really inspired by. A child-friendly Shillong, a child-friendly city. I congratulate the efforts of all concerned. I learned that it has not been something which happened overnight. There have been constant talks and engagements right from 2015, as what Thomas was saying, and numerous deliberations have taken place. I congratulate the BIDS as well as all its collaborators, associated partners, GIZ, all the sponsors, both local, national and international, as well as allied organizations, the NCPCR, Childline, the District Child Protection Officer, and other various departments whom we have heard will be playing a very critical role to ensure convergence of efforts and activities to ensure a child-friendly city. I was asking Thomas that is it something new, has it ever been done before, and he informed me that this is the first of its kind. So it really is such a momentous occasion, I think, and I hope that it will be the start of a long and sustained journey to ensure the rights of our children, to ensure their priorities are put on top, that their issues are addressed, and most importantly, as was pointed out, that they get a forum to speak, that they get a voice to speak out about their concerns. Talks about very clear-cut procedures to ensure that children who have suffered any kind of abuse get redressal in the shortest time possible, and all procedures are done in a very sensitive manner. We have, various acts and laws which guarantee the rights of children, but how much they are put into practice and how effective they are depends on you and me. It depends on what we do in our little spaces at home, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, and in our public spaces. I'm very happy to hear that one of the major components of this child-friendly Shillong is the mandate for children to voice out their thoughts, their opinions, and their views. A child-friendly city is one in which the needs and the priorities of children are put above all else. That they have a medium and a forum to share their talents and to share their views with all of us. I think these child rights groups which you talk about, in which we form clusters of young kids whom we encourage to speak up, it will really have a beautiful impact in the long term. We talk about how children are the most impressionable demographic. What does this mean? Whenever we go for Swachh Bharat mission programs, whenever we teach about cleanliness, I always emphasize that please teach the children first and teach them well. Whatever you teach a young boy and girl will remain in his head and in his heart for his entire life. A very simple example, whatever my teachers and school and sisters in my school taught me, that after you eat a sweet, please put the wrapper in your pocket and don't throw it on the ground. So that has become second nature to me.
From exploitation, they are protected from violence and abuse. It is mandatory for children to be aware and receive proper information on how to be safe and protect themselves from exploitation, violence, and abuse. Of course, parents, caretakers, people in the community, and stakeholders are to ensure the safety of children in their families and communities. Children should be empowered to speak out in case if they are being exploited, abused, and are affected due to violence and conflict at home or elsewhere. This is why we are all here today, to work collaboratively to ensure that the voices of children are heard and violation of child rights are addressed. The Child Rights Club and youth clubs will be the platforms for children to get them sensitized and address issues for intervention. A city where children have a good start in life and grow up healthy and in a cared environment. The whole foundation of life starts at an early age. If children are healthy and grow up in an ideal environment, they will lead a happy and fruitful life. The role of parents and caretakers towards ensuring good health of children cannot be denied. But it is also when children get proper access to health centers that they will be healthy if they become sick. Children cannot be healthy if they live in fear due to stressful situations at home or elsewhere. Thus, it is only when children understand that they can address these issues through linkages with stakeholders that these issues will be intervened and taken care of. A city where children have access to essential service. We have never heard of children addressing issues of not having access to essential service, as we believe that it is none of their business and that these grievances should only be voiced out by adults. In reality, children constitute the highest percentage of those being affected in this. Thus, through these clubs, they will address these issues for redressal.